Are you ready to unlock an extra $4,044 for your Supplemental Security Income, SSI? That's not a typo. It's money that could be yours. And today, we're breaking down exactly how to claim it. Whether you're stretching every dollar or simply looking for ways to make life a little easier, this could be a game changer. But here's the catch. Many seniors miss out on this opportunity simply because they don't know about it. Think of it as finding a $100 bill tucked away in an old coat pocket, except it's thousands of dollars, and it's just waiting for you to say, yes, please. Well, unpack the steps, clear up the fine print, and share insider tips to help you maximize your SSI benefits with ease. So, grab your coffee, settle in, and let's make sure you're not leaving any money on the table. Before we dive in, hit that like button. It's free, unlike the government paperwork you're about to conquer, and subscribe to the channel for more life-changing tips. Oh, and don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments. Let's make this a community where we all learn and grow together. Ready to boost your SSI? Let's go. All right, now that you're settled in and ready to uncover this $4,044 secret, let's get straight into it. First things first, let's talk about what Supplemental Security Income, or SSI, really is. Now, I know some of you might be rolling your eyes thinking, I've been getting SSI for years. I know what it is. But bear with me for just a second, because understanding the basics is key to maximizing your benefits. SSI is a federal program designed to provide a safety net for those with limited income and resources. We're talking about seniors, folks with disabilities, and even children in some cases. The goal? To ensure you have enough to meet your basic needs for food, clothing, and shelter. But here's the kicker. Many people assume the monthly amount they're getting is set in stone. Spoiler alert, it's not. Now, let's get into why this $4,044 might be slipping through your fingers. Did you know that SSI benefits are subject to annual adjustments called cost of living adjustments, or COLAs? It sounds fancy, but it's basically the government's way of saying, hey, inflation's a thing, so here's a little extra to keep up with rising costs. The Social Security Administration, or SSA, reviews these adjustments every year to ensure that your benefits reflect the current economic climate. But here's the thing, not everyone automatically gets what they're entitled to. Sometimes, a simple mistake in your paperwork or outdated information can result in you missing out on these increases. That's why it's crucial to stay on top of your SSI updates, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. All right, let's take a moment to talk about living situations, because this is another area where people often lose money without even realizing it. Did you know that where you live can impact your SSI benefits? Yep, your living arrangements, whether you're in your own home, renting, or living with family, can affect how much you receive. For instance, if someone else is covering your food or housing costs, the SSA might reduce your benefits. This is called the in-kind support and maintenance rule. But don't worry, there are ways to navigate this and ensure you're not getting shortchanged. For example, you can formalize arrangements with your family to clarify who's responsible for what expenses. Trust me, a little paperwork now can save you big bucks down the line. Speaking of paperwork, let's talk about another common pitfall: reporting changes in your income. Now, I get it. The idea of dealing with more government forms is about as appealing as a root canal. But here's the deal. Failing to report income changes can lead to overpayments, which the SSA will eventually claw back. And let's be real, no one likes getting a letter saying they owe Uncle Sam money. On the flip side, underreporting your income could mean you're not getting the full amount you deserve. So, it's a balancing act, but one that's totally manageable with a little bit of diligence. Keep records of everything: pay stubs, tax returns, even those random checks you get from selling a few items online. If it's income, the SSA needs to know about it. And don't worry, they'll walk you through the process so it doesn't feel like climbing Mount Everest. Now, let's shift gears a bit and talk about state supplements. Here's a fun fact. Many states offer additional payments on top of your federal SSI benefits. These are called state supplemental payments, or SSPs, and they're basically the state's way of saying, we've got your back. But, and this is a big, but not all states participate, and the amount you can receive varies widely depending on where you live. For example, if you're in California, you might get a pretty generous supplement, whereas in another state, the amount might be smaller or non-existent. The key here is to know what your state offers and how to apply for it. Don't worry if this sounds overwhelming. We'll break it down step by step so you can maximize every penny you're entitled to. All right, so we've covered living arrangements, income reporting, and state supplements. Let's talk about another golden nugget: resources. Now, when the SSA talks about resources, they're not talking about the box of keepsakes in your attic. They mean things like bank accounts, stocks, bonds, and even life insurance policies. SSI has strict resource limits: $2,000 for individuals and $3,000 for couples. But here's the thing: not all resources count. For example, your home and the land it's on are usually excluded, as is one vehicle if it's used for transportation. The trick here is to understand what counts and what doesn't, so you can organize your finances in a way that works to your advantage. And if you're thinking, well, I've got a little more than $2,000 saved up, does that mean I'm disqualified? Not necessarily. There are ways to legally spend down your resources, like paying off debts or investing in things that don't count against the limit. We'll get into those strategies in just a bit. Now, let's talk medical benefits, because this is another area where SSI recipients often leave money on the table. If you're receiving SSI, you're likely eligible for Medicaid, which can help cover healthcare costs. But did you know that Medicaid benefits can vary by state? Yep, just like those state supplements we talked about earlier, Medicaid coverage isn't one size fits all. For example, some states offer extra benefits like dental care, vision, or even help with transportation to medical appointments. The key is to know what's available in your state and how to access it. Don't hesitate to reach out to your local Medicaid office. It's their job to help you navigate these benefits. And if you're feeling a little intimidated, don't worry. We'll go over some tips to make those conversations as smooth as possible. All right, let's pivot to a topic that's often overlooked: retroactive payments. Did you know that if your SSI application took a while to process, you might be entitled to back pay? That's right. The SSA will retroactively pay you for the months between your application date and the date your benefits were approved. And let's be real, who doesn't love a lump sum payment? But here's the catch: you'll want to make sure you're using those funds wisely. Remember those resource limits we talked about earlier? A large back payment could put you over the limit if you're not careful. The good news is that there are ways to handle this, like setting up an ABLE account or a special needs trust. We'll go over those options in detail so you can keep your benefits intact while still enjoying that well-deserved windfall. Speaking of financial planning, let's take a moment to talk about budgeting. Now, I know budgeting might not sound like the most exciting topic, but trust me, it's a game changer when it comes to making the most of your SSI benefits. Start by tracking your income and expenses. Yes, all of them. This will give you a clear picture of where your money is going and where you might be able to cut back. And don't worry, you don't have to do this alone. There are plenty of tools and resources available, from budgeting apps to community programs that offer financial counseling. The goal here isn't to pinch every penny, but to make sure your money is working for you, not the other way around. All right, we're nearing the finish line. But before we wrap up, let's talk about advocacy. One of the best ways to ensure you're getting the most out of your SSI benefits is to stay informed and advocate for yourself. This means keeping up with changes in SSI policies, asking questions, and seeking help when you need it. And remember, you're not alone. There are countless organizations and advocacy groups out there dedicated to helping seniors and SSI recipients navigate the system. Whether it's a local nonprofit or a national organization like the National Council on Aging, don't hesitate to reach out for support. So, there you have it. We've covered everything from cost of living adjustments and state supplements to resources, Medicaid, and even retroactive payments. Now, it's your turn to take action. Double check your paperwork, reach out to your local SSA office, and don't be afraid to ask questions. Remember, this $4,044 could make a real difference in your life, and you're entitled to it. So, hit that like button if you found this helpful, subscribe for more tips, and drop a comment below to share your experience or ask questions. Let's keep this conversation going. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.